What's up, guys? Rampage here again, and today I'm actually bringing you a Pokemon Showdown battle. Um, I decided to post this because I have a few of them saved up. Although I don't know how many I'm gonna post because I don't know. I just like Wi-Fi battles better. But if you guys don't have a problem with this, and if you'd like to see more, then I don't have a problem posting more. And my opponent is SilverFalcon87. As you can see, he's in the upper right. I'm in the lower left corner. And I'm using this team that kind of revolves around the Nasty Plot Azelf and Scarf Mienshao offensive core that has Golurk and Quillfish as good support and, Heracross and Mienshao checks. Got a specially defensive Snorlax and a modest, I think it's like a bulky, modest Shaman. I forget the EVs, but it's bulky, it's powerful. And it's alright, I guess. I don't know. I haven't had too many battles to determine whether it's that good or not, but I don't know. My opponent, though, it looks like he has a, really balanced team. It looks like 3 of his guys are defensive and 3 are offensive. The defensive ones being Rhyperior, Bronzong, and Amoonguss, and the offensive ones being Rotom, Chandelure, and Kingdra. But the only real threat I'm seeing from his team is that Kingdra, because if it sets up too many Dragon Dances or sets up the rain or whatever, then it's just too powerful. Like, Kingdra's really strong, and my guys wouldn't really like to take hits from it, especially the physical Dragon Dancing set. But anyway, without further ado, let's get started with this battle. So I'm going to lead off with my Golurk, and my opponent's going to lead off with his Rotom. I don't want to take a grass type attack, so I'm just going to switch out into my Snorlax, and he is just going to go for Leaf Storm right off the bat. I was actually thinking that he'd go for Volt Switch, but that's fine by me because I could have taken either or. So knowing that he's going to switch out, I'm going to also switch back out into my Golurk because I see that as a chance to set up my Stealth Rocks, as he's going to switch out into his Rhyperior, and we're both just going to exchange our rocks. And now I'm going to go for Ice Punch, thinking that he might want to switch out into his Rotom or his Bronzong, even though Ice Punch wouldn't have done much to Bronzong. And I freeze him, but it doesn't matter because he thaws out that same turn, so it's pretty pointless freeze. But anyway, I'm just going to go for Earthquakes now because I'm thinking that he's not going to switch, so I can just fire off some heavy damage on this Rhyperior with some Earthquakes, and he's actually going to go for Mega Horn, I guess predicting my Shaman to come in, which is fine by me because it doesn't do anything. And I'm just going to go for another Earthquake, hoping that he's just going to father off his Rhyperior, but that would kind of be pointless. And he's going to bring in his Bronzong to avoid the Earthquake, and then I'm going to go for a Shadow Punch as he starts setting up Calm Minds. So I don't want this thing setting up all in my face, so I'm going to switch out into my Snorlax so I can just phase this thing out with Whirlwind. And I know I should be able to take the Psychic or Hidden Power Fighting, Side Shock, whatever he has. And he does have Psychic. It only does 28%, so that's nice, and I can just Whirlwind this thing out. But unfortunately, I Whirlwind him back out into his Rhyperior, and my Snorlax would not like to take a hit from this thing, so I'm just going to switch out into my Golurk again, kind of fathering it off. I don't want anything else on my team to take a hit, and since he kind of predicted my Shaman earlier, I don't want to bring that in. So I'm just going to leave my Golurk in his fodder and get off another hard Earthquake. And he's going to freaking crit me. Oh my, it's like, no, that crit didn't matter at all. But anyway, he's going to take out my Golurk, and now I'm just going to bring in my Azelf. I'm going to go for a Psychic, because I just, no, I'm not. What am I saying? Oh my gosh, I suck. I'm actually going to go for a Shadow Ball because the switch to Bronzong was pretty obvious, and it would do a decent chunk to this thing, and then I could just hit it with a Fire Blast the next turn. But he's actually going to go for the Protect, and thinking that he's going to go out into his Chandelure, I'm actually just going to go for the Shadow Ball now, as he actually switches out into his Kingdra, and it's going to do a nice 40% to that Kingdra. I like that. And he pretty much has to let something die to this Azelf, because if he just goes back out in the Bronzong, I can Fire Blast that thing. He can try to play the mind games, but I don't think he wants to, so he's just going to leave his Kingdra and his Death Fodder to my Psychic, and that's that. But now he's going to bring out his Bronzong again. He's going to go for Protect on my Fire Blast. It's kind of rinse and repeat, but I'm actually going to stay in and go for a Fire Blast again, thinking that he might predict me to do the same thing, so I should just stay in and go for Fire Blast. And it works out because I'm able to take out the Bronzong, but now he's going to bring out his Rotom. And I'm just going to go onto my Shaman knowing that I do resist both of his stabs, so I should be able to take a hit pretty easily. And he's just going to Volt Switch out into his Chandelure, which this thing is kind of a threat because my Snorlax is running low. And I don't think Snorlax can take 2 fire hits from this thing. And it turns out I can't because he has Overheat, which kind of hints that he specs. So I'm just going to have to leave my Snorlax in this Death Bother because this thing is a threat and nothing else on my team wants to take a overheat. But now I can go out into my Quillfish. He's at -4, so he's probably not going to stay in, and overheat really wouldn't have done much. So I'm just going to take this chance to set up some spikes. But unfortunately, he's going to go out into his Rotom, so I can't set up too many layers of spikes. I'm going to have to switch out into my Shaman again. And we're going to have to, watch him Volt Switch me again, which is getting kind of old, but had no other choice, really. And I was pretty sure he wouldn't go out into a Chandelure because that thing is going to just keep racking up all the hazard damage. He's actually going to go out into his Amoonguss, and seeing as though the Spore is kind of obvious, I'm just going to go for the Synthesis just so I can get my HP back up before he puts me to sleep. And then I can switch out, hoping that he doesn't predict my switch and goes for the Double Spore. And fortunately for me, he doesn't predict that, and I can get a safe, well, not safe, but I can get a switch out into my Quillfish, and I can take this chance to set up more spikes, because unfortunately this Quillfish does not have taunt, but I can take up more spikes and let this Quillfish be Sleep Father. I don't really think I'll need it too much, seeing as though his team can pretty much destroy Quillfish. So anyway, I'm going to switch back out into my Shaman now, and I believe I'm going to go for a Sea Flare, predicting his Chandelure to come in, predicting my Hidden Power Fire, and I missed, so that sucks because I think that might have taken it out. I'm not sure though. Probably wouldn't have, but it would have did a lot. It would have did a lot, which is nice. But anyway, I'm going to go for a Sea Flare again, thinking or hoping that I'm faster than this Chandelure, and it turns out I'm not, and he actually just tricks me a Specs, which is kind of fine by me. I really don't care too much because it just means my Shaman is that much stronger now. And now I'm going to go out into my Quillfish's Death Bother actually, but he's actually going to go for some Hidden Power Isis. And I'm just going to stay in with my Quillfish's Death Bother so I can get a safe switch into my Mienshao, I think. So yeah, that's that. So I'm just waiting for him to take out my Quillfish with these Hidden Power Ices. And seeing as though he's only going for Hidden Power Ice, and seeing as though he came into my Azelf earlier, I'm pretty sure that this thing is Choice Scarf. I forgot to note that earlier, but whatever. So now I'm going to go out into my Scarf Mienshao, and I was just hoping to go for a U-turn, but he actually goes out into his Rhyperior, his Death Bother, which is actually a pretty good play on his part. But he brings in his Rotom again. I would have definitely went out into a Amoonguss if I were him, but that's whatever. He probably didn't think that I was choiced, but I am, and I'm able to take out his Rotom with a Scarf U-turn, and now his last is this Amoonguss, which is going to take a lot from hazards, and it's also going to take a lot from this Psychic, as in being dead. I did get a crit, but I don't think the crit mattered, so yeah, that's that, and that's the game, leaving me the 3-0 victory. So that's a pretty good game, pretty fun. I really enjoyed it, and I hope you guys did as well. And if you did enjoy, please push that like button. Also leave a comment. I do enjoy reading your comments, and let me know how you feel about, this Showdown thing. So yeah, this is Rampage here, signing out. Hope you all have a wonderful day. Peace.